Hey family, peace and love to my kings and my queens, my brothers and my sisters. I greet you all with love and light of the Most High God, the infinite creator, source of all things, source within. I give all honor to the Most High God. Family, I was just sitting here just thinking, now you go into like deep thought, and I'm like, what is it about purity that bothers spiritual wickedness in high places so much? Purity of the innocence, our children. Purity as far as one's gift. And talents. That's anything that you can do that comes natural to you. It's like you were just born with this awesome gift from source or divine. What is it about purity, one's gift, one talent, that these dark forces, the powers that be, some call it the Illuminati, whatever you want to call it, I call it spiritual wickedness in high places. What is it about purity and talent and gifts that the dark forces can't stand? It's like it take anything. It's like it tries to copy that which is meant for good to taint it for evil. Basically, just to taint it, as far as anything that source, the divine, the Most High God has created, it wants to duplicate it, but taint it. I think about, for instance, our children. They come into this world, they're innocent, they are pure. Many of them, they're virgins. They haven't been tainted by this world and programmed. They're just now getting here, and many of them don't even have a chance due to their purity, their innocence. Many of them are taken and abused and used and just being mistreated. Their minds are being fractured by trauma. At such an early age. It's a time when all they ask is just to be loved, held, fed. And taken care of. It doesn't take much for a baby. But many of them aren't being treated very kind. It saddens me. Many of them get taken and they're being mistreated due to their purity, their innocence. They may have come into this world as far as, in the body of a child. But within them, they carry the spark of the divine within them. There's a soul that is within them, a spirit. And it is high energized, just like us adults. It's just in a, container that's smaller. There really are no bigger U's and little U's. Some of us are in smaller containers, some of us are in larger containers. The point I'm trying to make is, when I think about purity, I think about children. And they come into this world just be taken advantage of, and not in a good way. Many of them are being raped, physically abused. Who want to physically abuse a baby? Who would want to beat a child? Who would want to commit harm to a child that can't even fight back? Some people get off on that, on the screams of the innocence, of the scream of the pure in heart. They take them, they abuse them, they split their minds due to trauma because they're easily to be controlled. Let's move forward. I think about our celebrities, okay? For instance, our so-called music celebrities. Have you noticed the raw talent, the gift the Most High God has given many of them? When they first come on the scene, their voice is just awesome. You know, they are wearing clothes, they are covered up, especially the young ladies and the women. When they first come on the scene, they're covered up. They're not showing cleavage. They're not showing their ass. They're covered up. Their talent speaks for itself. Their talent, their raw talent speaks for itself. And they're covered up. And a lot of them can't even dance, but that's okay. Their talent makes up for that. Their talent of the gift of their vocal gift makes up for that. And some of them can dance. Some of them can, they can dance and sing. The point I'm trying to make is they're covered up. And they look very respectful. You can really see them. There is no mask, shall I say. But then they stay in it too long. They get caught up in the world, in the system, the beast system of the music industry. They get caught up. They go to these so-called Hollywood mansions and they're dealing with rituals. And, a lot of them are coming to a lot of information. And there are things that they don't like. A lot of them are speaking out about it, and that's when many of them are being taken advantage of. Their minds are being split due to trauma, things that they have seen for themselves that they want no parts of, but because they know so much, their minds are fractured. They are traumatized. They go through trauma, and they're easily to be controlled, shall I say, puppets. You do this, you do that. No, you talk too much. Get over here and sit down. Come over here, I want you to take part in this. Oh, you better. I got something on you, you better. Well, go sit down over here then and be quiet. That's what that's about. They come in with raw talent, covered up. And then once they're in the game for quite some time, they want to move up because they want that staying power. They got to start throwing up all these signs, showing their allegiance to spiritual wickedness in high places, their satanic allegiance. They have to, or they would be blackballed, or they will be a non-factor, okay? Or they will be, a one-hit wonder. They have to. They gotta start showing more cleavage. Those long dresses, they gotta shorten those up. Oh, no. Okay, to the knee is okay, but how about we go up a little higher? Because sex sells. Sex sells. Many people were drawn to them just with their raw talent. But then you have those whose attention span is very short, and just hearing raw talent is not enough. They want to, entertain the eyes as well. They want to see. They want their eyes tickled. So they want to see the cleavage. They want to see the breast exposed. They want to see the woman crotch. The dress, the skirt gets higher and higher. I look at a lot of these so-called entertainers. I just observe and check them out. A lot of them with raw talent, and even the ones that doesn't play the game, and they don't, for instance, like the females, they don't play the game as far as, you know, changing who they are. You know, they still want to wear their long dresses and look presentable. Okay, they are still getting their hooks in them too. Okay, you want to play the game, but we want you to play it. Well, you're gonna do this, or you're gonna do that. Either way, you're gonna play the game. For the most part, they fractured their minds, and they're dealing with MKL Ultra, because a lot of them know too much. The one that has to stay in power, that's been in the game for quite some time, and then a lot of them choose to just back off silently, you know, just keep their mouth shut and just enjoy their little money that they have accumulated, because they wants no part of the darkness that's going on with the industry. Celine Dion has a beautiful, beautiful voice. And I've seen her lately, and she looks like a skeleton. She looks so fragile. She even acts like she has another alter ego. She looks very frail. She's been damaged. Also dealing with depression due to the passing of her husband. I've never seen her with a short mini skirt on, mini dress on. Her talent speaks for itself, but she's been damaged big time. I love Barbra Streisand. I love her. I love her voice. It's very beautiful. I never really seen her wear a short dress. Maybe she has, in the past. I have never come across her wearing a dress that looked very, very short. But they pretty much got her in other ways. You know, she played a movie as being a male. They try to well, she's a female, but they try to put her in a male role. That's how they do in Hollywood. You know, either being your actor. You know, they try to put our men in dresses. They're gonna get you one way or another. They'll get you one way or another. If you're a female and you don't want to sit up here and wear these so-called mini dresses, showing your ass, I guess they're like, that's okay. How about you put these pants on? How about you put that tie on, that hat? So they can make you look more masculine looking. They'll get you one way or the other. You don't want to show your ass? Put this hat on, this necktie on. It get you one way or the other. Hollywood is so satanic. It's making our women and our children who come to this business with their raw talent that's pure and beautiful, gift from the Most High God. Oh, it let them come in, but they got to play the game. And once it gets their grip and tell them that sweet, what they want to hear, then it tanks them. They go from innocent to pure to looking slutty and whorish, just to sing, just to entertain. And we all know it doesn't take all that. People love them just for who they are and the way they are. They're just fine the way they are, but no. Once they stay in this industry real long, they gotta start doing all these signs. They have to. They gotta participate. They gotta be initiated and go to these Hollywood mansions and see the unthinkable. And can't speak about it. For one thing, they got a lot of them taped just for being there in those rooms. Even if they don't participate, they're in those rooms watching. The eye sees all. The eye sees all. You wonder why they don't want your third eye to awaken. You just have vision seeing all kind of things. And you don't know why you're seeing them. But it's pretty much the light exposing the darkness. I seen I don't know what you call it, but I seen something when I was in meditation. It looks like a honeycomb. Maybe I'm saying it wrong. A beehive. That's what it looks like, a beehive. Many of you close your eyes and picture a beehive, a large beehive. Picture the way it looks. All those different. Sorry if I got distracted. My son came in and asked me a question. But anyway, picture those large patterns that are within the beehive. I've seen that within myself. I didn't know what it meant. And I wasn't really looking at the beehive, but that's what it reminded me of. And I was seeing images played out in each one. It's like different, you want to call it different timelines, or, you know, I think about also how people minds can be fractured as well. And there are little personalities that comes out trying to protect ones who is dealing with trauma. That's what I think about when I think about these Hollywood celebrities. You know, their minds are just fractured big time. They can't even function properly without a certain alternate ego coming out to help them just to get through the day. Because that was once was so pure. They were coming into the game with being sound mind. Their mind has been fractured. And they're dealing with MKL Ultra. And I'm not saying that when I saw this within myself that that's what it was. I'm just giving you an example of how the fracture looks. It's like a shattered, spiritual fracture mentally. I know it's more to it. When I see these images that are played out, it looks like a, you know, a beehive. I know it's more to it. I just want to share that with many of you, because many of you have seen that within yourself. You know, these images being played out on different, you know, I don't know if it's, what's it, hexagon? I can't think of the name of it right now, but that's what it sort of looks like. I think it's what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If it's not 5 sides, it might be 6 sides. But I forgot the name of that second geometrical shape. Many of you know what I'm talking about. But I've seen it within myself, all linked together, and the images are being played out. Different images. Anyway, I speak more about that on another video. I just pretty much wanted to speak about these so-called celebrities, whether they be singers or actors, actresses. It's just amazing seeing them for the first time coming out, you know, with their raw talent, you know, covered up. And once, you know, the power that be get their grips on them, you know, the satanic industry get their grips on them, they taint them. And you go from seeing a wholesome, raw talent to someone that looks like a stripper or a hooker, you know. I mean, they just go from looking decent to just slutty. Seem like overnight, which we know is not overnight, but the point I'm trying to make is it doesn't take all of that. So it lets you know how dark the industry is. They don't want nobody coming in being pure, because they're going to taint you. They're going to get their grips on you one way or another. They're going to taint you. And you can have that raw talent all you want. People that get from listening to you to this right here want to be more entertained than what they're hearing. You know, they want to see you strip. You know, that which is supposed to be covered up, they want it uncovered. The hell with your raw talent. They want to see you pretty much naked. Everything go from purity to impurity, to unclean. It's just sad. All you have to do is just watch Just go back and check out how a lot of them came out, how they first looked when they first came to the game, and how they look now. That speaks for itself. That speaks for itself. And they immediately start throwing the signs up because they're trying to go to the top. They're trying to stay in the game long enough. They're trying to secure their spot. In order to secure that spot, you got to lose the innocence. You got to be tainted. Oh, my brothers and sisters, I know many of you have gifts, but do you want it that bad? Do you really want it that bad? Is it worth it? I think not. Be careful what you ask for. You just might get it.